They hit that thing. I went clear to my bottom, hit the bottom of that thing, and my brush rollers were floating up at the top. I said, oh, I think I broke my leg. I think I broke my leg. And so two of those counselors jumped in to help me, and I just got them around the neck and I just soused them.
When I was 19 years old, I was about to leave camp. They had asked me to be a counselor, and so I'd stepped in to do that, and some kid in my room had nunchucks, and he busted out the light.
I said, I wouldn't go down that mountain for any amount of money. And they said, oh, sure you would, Martha, sure you would. And I said, I wouldn't go down it for $1,000. You can't get that mud out of your hair, you can't get it out of nothing. I wouldn't even go for $1,000. Then I thought a minute, I thought, but I would go for $1,500 for Speed the Light. And so by noon, they came up to me and said, Martha, you better get your clothes ready because they've raised the money. The kids have raised the money.
You know, camp is kind of cool for me because I went as a child, and I've also gone to camp as a counselor, a coach, a dean, and different things. And so it's kind of cool because it came full circle for me. When I was a child, I remember the evangelist, he had puppets and stuff, but I don't remember a lot of what he said. What I do remember is when he gave the altar call, people just flooded to the altar, and I was one of those people. And we went down there and we prayed and we sought God, and the presence of God was just thick. It was just, it's hard to describe, but it just absolutely, in my vocabulary at the time, it blew me away. And I was just like, that is so cool. But then as a dean, later on, I was down in the altars and I was praying with kids, and there's this one kid, when he finished praying, looked up at me and he had like this radiance on his face, and he was so excited, and he looked at me and said, God blew me away. And in that instant, I was that kid. I went back like 20, 30 years and I was like, I understand what he's talking about. I completely get it. He doesn't have to say anything else. I know what that kid's talking about. God blew me away, and I understand what you're saying. So it's kind of cool because it came full circle for me.
There's a boy in my church right now. God was mightily using him at our camp. Everyone that he prayed for was slain in the Spirit. And I thought, you know, I ought to go over there, but what if it happened to me? Finally, I thought, well, I'm going. And I went over there, and he grabbed me and he said, Martha, this isn't just for young folks, it's for old folks your age too. And when he touched me, I just went, wow, just like that. And with the Holy Spirit, it was just such a phenomenal time. And I knew that God had his hand on that boy.
I think a new camp is important because I think that it's going to continue to do what the old camp has done. And of course, the new camp is going to be able to open us up to serve lots more kids. You know, we're going to be able to get ministry to tons more children than what we are currently. And so it's kind of like we're walking around, you know, with like one leg instead of both. And so with the new camp, we'll be able to move forward.